Very nice.
What are we looking for underneath those packs would be bad?
The same pack. Oh,
The same thing. We
same
want the
pack.
same.
Does it say first edition?
yeah.
Yes, that's perfect. Keep going.
Woo!
Keep going.
keep going.
Hold
Oh,
on.
the color's different on that one than that one.
That one's not a first edition pack.
That's
Wait,
an
what?
issue.
This is an unlimited pack. This is a
Oh
resealed
my
box.
god, it's a resealed box.
All right, time to call the seller.
Yeah, no money back on that.
Oh.
It's not even base set cards.
Oh.
Yeah, they are.
Hi, we just opened the box literally live, and they're resealed packs.
Hey Gengar Gang, what is going on? My name is Ryan, this is the Analytic Gengar, and welcome to another video. In today's PokeChat, friends, we are talking about, well, what is possibly the news of 2020. That's right, you thought a Pokemon card box selling for $220,000 was big news. Wait till you hear that one for $375,000 was opened and found to be a fake. That is right, friends, if you missed it, a couple of weeks ago, we got news of a large Pokemon card deal in the work, and effectively that deal was for a first edition Pokemon box, which was selling for $375,000. The purchaser was someone by the name of Chris Camillo from Dumb Money TV. Effectively, they are a new type of investor. They're out on social media, they're out on YouTube, and they definitely do a lot of really cool and interesting things. Now, in this particular case, they went ahead and purchased one of these boxes, and the intention was to go ahead and open the box up based on feedback from the community, based on conversations that they had with tons of different people, and based on the word of a certain self-proclaimed collectible guru. Now, when the box was actually opened up on live stream, it was found to be a fake, and as a result, the Pokemon community is up in arms. So in today's video, we are going to go through what happened, the theories behind what happened, the short-term implications of a fake booster box being sold for such a large amount of money, and the long-term implications. So that is the four-way split in which this video will be divided. Of course, I appreciate each and every single one of you checking out a video, and because this is a Wednesday video, yes, we will have a Thursday video as well, so this will just be a little quick hot take while everything else is melting down here in the Pokemon card community. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So, if you're not a fan of Logan Paul, you would have missed this, but a certain gentleman by the name of Collectibles Guru has been going around the community and basically insisting that he is a Pokemon card expert. He's been advertised as Logan Paul's personal Pokemon consultant, meaning or implying that he has some sort of expertise in the hobby, and as a result, he is a great resource for many, many very rich, famous people. Now, he's also been accused of his fair amount of controversy. Everything from shill bidding, which is effectively where he has people or does himself bid on an item not with the intention of paying, but with the intention of forcing others to bid. So effectively, if you bid $1, I bid $2. I don't plan on paying $2, but the intention is that you're going to bid $3. And at the end of the day, the card sells for more. You can do this because it's your particular item that is being auctioned off, and you can use a different account or have a friend do it for you. Or you can do this because you have the exact same item and you know that if this item sells for that much money, you can sell your item for that much money as well. So he's been accused of shill bidding, but he's also been accused of basically what is a form of manipulation. He'll basically hype up the prices to various rich people, and as a result of this, he's able to sell them Pokemon cards at a price that quote-unquote breaks a record, when realistically and perhaps naturally that card isn't that demanded. So his sales go ahead and set some sort of new high. Meanwhile, the rest of us are kind of scratching our heads because that particular card really isn't that popular or really shouldn't be hitting that high a price just yet, and has a few more years before it gets there in terms of age, in terms of rarity, in terms of population. And so he's not without his own controversies. Now, in this particular case, this is perhaps the single biggest flop for 2020 when it comes to Pokemon. And obviously, this was more or less meant to happen at a certain point. It just sucks because this particular transaction and this particular event came at a really interesting time. So what's happened here is effectively Collectibles Guru went ahead and purchased the box from a seller. And then he went ahead and spent about 2 weeks' time flexing with the box, hyping it up, basically saying, hey, this is going to be a cool big thing. And then Chris Camillo purchases the box, and then Chris Camillo sets that new record of $375,000. Now the good news, at least from my understanding, is that Collectible Guru bought the box and then was just going to hand it off to Chris for the $375,000. So effectively, he worked kind of like a third-party middleman, where he just kind of added an extra step. So when they go ahead and try to open the box, they find out that the top 2 packs are base set first edition, as is expected, but like any good counterfeiter knows, it's very simple to check for base set first edition packs, because all you have to do is press down the front of the box and check to make sure that the Pokemon packs look correct. But when they started going through the packs and went a little bit more down, they found that there were even cards in packs from 2020, meaning that this box would have had to have been opened up and resealed within this calendar year. More importantly, if you think about it, many of the cards that were printed with the 2020 Pokemon stamp on them are all Sun and Moon, are all Sword and Shield era cards. And so you figure that it couldn't have been before any of the Sword and Shield era cassettes launched onto the internet. So that is another hot spicy topic, and that actually transitions us into our second part of the video, which is theories surrounding who resealed this box. Why is this important? Well, for one, if it's a seller reselling this box, it's nothing new. In theory, this has happened before, and so it'll probably happen again. Unfortunately, that is the way early WotC era collectibles work. Because the Pokemon Company didn't quite have the formula down just yet, they didn't have WotC printing off boxes with either the Wizards of the Coast logo or the Pokemon logo. And obviously, everything after base set Unlimited has those particular wrappers on them. So if you have, or if you have ever owned, or even if you have ever seen one of those boxes, you know that there are Wizard of the Coast logos all over those boxes. But certain shadowless and base set first edition booster boxes were printed in a clear plastic wrapping, and that is a huge problem because that means those boxes are especially easy to reseal because you don't need any kind of special printing or any kind of special wrapping in order to reseal the box. With other boxes, it is still possible to do so. I have seen very well done resealed boxes. However, it's almost impossible to get it the way the factory does it. And in theory, what needs to happen is that you need to get plastic wrapping from another box that was opened and use it, because chances are you don't have access to the exact printing process and methods that Wizards of the Coast use in order to generate a new sheet of shrink wrapping for a booster box. So typically what will happen is I open up a booster box, I'm careless and give you the wrapping, or I sell the wrapping on eBay. Someone buys that wrapping and then uses it to reseal a similar booster box of similar size. That's usually how the process goes. And by and far, there are theories that the seller of this box, whoever he or she may be, went ahead and resealed this box and sold it to Collectibles Guru for cryptocurrency. Now, the other theory is that Collectibles Guru may have also been involved in the resealing of this box. Now, I'll stop right here and say what the truth is and what the theory is. The truth of the matter is, the box was resealed in 2020. I don't think any reasonable person is going to disagree with me when I say that. However, the two main theories right now, or the big question all of us in the community are asking, is who resealed the box, the seller or Collectibles Guru? When it comes to the seller, Rumor has it that he or she was someone who had the booster box in a safe for 20 plus years. Now, this is a rumor, and of course you can't trust everything you hear. There are other people in the community who are already saying that they were reached out to by the same exact seller and propositioned to purchase this box, meaning this box was resealed in 2020 and a couple other people were reached out to, poked and prodded, basically being told, hey, buy this box from me, buy this box from me, meaning the seller had the malicious intent of selling a resealed box, hoping no one would notice and hoping that they could get away with making what is arguably probably the biggest scam in Pokemon history. Now, if Collectible Guru went ahead and resealed this box, in theory, what would have had to have happened is they would have had to get the box from the legitimate seller. They would have had to go ahead and opened up the box, resealed the box, and then simply brought it to the live stream event where it was opened up and found to be a fake. So those are the two main theories. Again, what we do know is that for a fact the box was reopened. So now we just have to theoretically figure out who done it. And so with that much ambiguity surrounding what has happened, there are a couple bits of evidence to one or the other. As I had said, there are some people who have already sort of come out either on Instagram or on Reddit or on Facebook and said, hey, I was reached out to by the same exact seller in 2020 and told, buy this box from me. So in theory, if they saw pictures of the box and it looked exactly the same, could be a bad situation because what it means is that the seller is likely the person. Alternatively, some evidence or some things that people are pointing to that Collectibles Guru may have known about or participated in the resealing include the fact that he was very sure about the entire box and its authenticity up until the day of, when he started to kind of back out, and his language that he particularly uses during the live stream is a little strange, if not iffy. So a lot of people have also been questioning that and why he suddenly had a change of heart when he was on Instagram posing with the box and posting the box and being very proud of the contents of the box and what big news he would make over his most recent sale to Chris Camillo. Now, personally, and this is just my opinion, I do believe it was the seller. Like I said, I think it's probably a situation where if enough people are coming out and saying, hey, I have a picture of the box, it looks exactly the same as it did when it was opened, and I knew it was a fake because of X, Y, and Z, well then I think it's pretty hard to blame Collectibles Guru for opening up and resealing the box when it was very clearly tampered with well before it was in his possession. And so, if those pictures and that evidence can be substantiated, I would personally go with that theory over the other one. Now, a brief aside, this isn't a theory, this is the actual facts of the matter. I'm going to go ahead and put some pictures on screen right now, and as you can see, there are a couple things that I really want to call out to you regarding this particular box. Now, whether or not Collectibles Guru was involved in any type of resealing, like I did say at the beginning of this video, he's not without controversy. And I think this particular photo really kind of highlights his incompetency. Now, I don't use that word lightly because, you know, I sometimes would like to think that I know a lot and sometimes I don't. And I think it's very important in this hobby that we stay humble because not everyone knows everything. We as a community have to band together, support each other, especially when it comes to large, big purchases. But all that said, this is one of those instances where this is just raw incompetency that really kind of drove the problem here. So in this photo from Collectibles Guru's Instagram account, you can actually see the first edition base set booster box, and what you notice is that right by the Pokemon logo, you'll see two small ridges. Now, you might say, what are those ridges? Those are folds in the booster box. So when that booster box is open, the way the first edition base set pack opens, or the booster box opens, is it effectively folds upward and then creates a little display stand. And the idea was that when these were in stores, they could be displayed. So from a distance, you could see it was Pokemon, you'd walk up, grab a pack or two, and then go about purchasing. Both of those are crimped, meaning that the box was folded, but that's impossible to do when the box is still in plastic wrap. So that would mean that this booster box was opened up, crimped previously, probably opened, and then the box was sold and resealed, or just resealed in general. It could be that the seller opened it and then went ahead and just simply resealed the box. Typically what would happen with a first edition base set booster box when empty is that it gets sold on eBay. And the reason it does is because people are collectors, they want to see this stuff in their collection, they know they can't have a sealed one, so usually they'll go ahead and buy an empty one and just kind of put it on a shelf. So it's not uncommon for these to be sold as collector's items. However, an excellent point that Charizard King raised on Instagram is that we should start putting a big red X on the bottom of booster boxes when we sell them on eBay for display. This way, people can still buy it, but if anyone tries to use it for resale or for a resealment, they can't, because a big red X is going to be on the bottom of the cardboard, and that's going to be a dead giveaway that it's a reseal. Now, I also want to shout out Retro Foil Collector over on IG, as he is the person who went ahead and pointed this out to me. And as you can see, there are multiple posts from Collectible Guru. He was literally all over the place. He's posting in Philadelphia, he's posting in Palm Springs, California, and it's the same booster box. And as you can see, there are two very clear creases in that box. Again, this is impossible to do without having the booster box outside of the plastic wrap. If you tried to do this with that box in the plastic wrap would tear or the booster box would bend. One of the two would happen. And this should have been a dead giveaway. So aside from the two theories that I have put forward in this video, I will say right off the bat, this is just a gross amount of negligence. You posted these photos, you flexed with the box, but it's really hard to think that someone wasn't going to be able to see that and say, hey, as a quote-unquote expert and as a quote-unquote guru, that this is something that looks suspicious to me. So even if he wasn't involved in anything nefarious, I will say, as a fair bit of criticism, this was a negligent act on an expert's part, because no expert should have let that pass without investigating further as to why a brand new booster box would have creases that are indicative of the booster box being opened. So with that said, the two other items up for chatting today are the short-term and long-term implications. So short-term, what do I think is going to happen? Well, I think the Pokemon market is going to contract a little bit because of this. Realistically, we are in a situation where we were slowly but surely sort of trudging our way upward, and sooner or later you had to kind of see a slowdown. It could have been because people were going to start buying Christmas presents and could no longer fund very large purchases on eBay, or maybe it was going to be because people were saving a little bit more money because COVID-19 relief funds weren't coming their way before the election, but sooner or later it was bound to happen. And I think this particular event may shock buyer confidence enough that we end up in a situation where it will accelerate that process. And so we might see a whole bunch of especially early WotC era stuff stopping in its tracks. So everything from base set unlimited to base set shadowless, and especially base set first edition, will likely jam up a little bit because buyer confidence will really be shot after seeing this box open. In the video, they do a lot of hyping up over Leonhardt, DFW, and Collectibles Guru. I agree that two of the three of those individuals that I just named are very, very credible. There's one that I think, at this point, I hope you would understand which one I don't believe that much in, but what I am trying to say is that even with two, arguably three, sets of eyes on the box, it got past people. And that's the point, is that sometimes fakes and reseals are that good that they will get past people. And honestly, one of the best ways to guarantee your investment in one of these boxes is just to buy from people you trust. If you can buy from someone and maintain a clear chain of custody and maintain the integrity of the purchase, you're good. But when you're purchasing from people that have questionable stories, or the booster box has dead giveaways that it might have been tampered with, you might want to back away, because again, you can throw all the money in the world you want. If it can get past 2 very seasoned sets of eyes, it's not going to matter how much money you spent. You can never buy the integrity of the purchase. And so that's something that will definitely probably happen. People will begin feeling that. Again, Leonhardt owns one of these boxes and couldn't spot it. DFW is no stranger to first edition booster packs and booster boxes. And so both of them should have been able to spot differences. Both of them were put into a position where they were basically asked for their quick opinion, and nothing really occurred that would have tipped them off one way or the other. And then on top of everything else, it got past both of them. Leonhardt says in the video he didn't really pursue challenging the validity of the box because he knew the booster box was going to get open, so we were going to find out one way or the other. He did say that you could weigh the box. He did say that he would have inspected the corners better. And so all of these things should have happened well in advance of the live stream. And so a lot of people are probably going to want that to happen now. And if they can't have that happen, a lot of sales on eBay aren't going to happen, meaning we're going to see a contraction of the market in the short term. Now, going into the medium and long term, a couple of different things. I do think this will pass. Here's the thing. No one really cared until I put on the mask. I believe that's the quote. Here's the problem. The only reason why this is even happening to be a video today is because at the end of the day, there's enough content out there and there's enough eyes on that content to justify a reaction. And so in today's world, it's so popular, so big. Logan Paul is driving so many people's eyes onto this on top of Pokemon's own popularity that this is going to be a big deal because that many more people are in the hobby. However, it's not like this hasn't happened before. It's happened to PokeRev, it's happened to TCA, it's happened to, I bet, countless other people who don't have a large enough outlet to vocalize their experiences with getting ripped off. But, it has happened before. I guarantee you it will happen again. Unfortunately, it's one of the risks you run in this hobby, especially if you're buying from quote-unquote seller. So that is kind of how that's going to happen. However, like I said, it's happened in the past, it'll happen again, and the market will recover. Do I think it'll contract for a little bit? Yes, it might be a great opportunity to buy a shadowless box, especially from a trusted seller, and then just kind of, ride out this little rough time. Again, you might even buy and prices might decline further, but just hang on, they will come back up. The other thing that'll probably end up happening long term is that we as a community might move towards different ways of verifying booster boxes. So I posted the cold open of this video on Instagram, and it obviously kicked off a lot of conversations, including many actually, where people were basically saying like, hey, the future of Pokemon needs to include a way to verify the authenticity of booster boxes. Now, if you've ever seen a collector's cash post, they usually have a certificate of authenticity. There are some auction houses that will only sell things that they verify, and so they back the purchaser 100%. Like if it's ever found out to be fake, they will refund you immediately. eBay has buyer protection. If you purchase with a credit card, you have your charge back if you open it within the allotted amount of time. And so there are a few buyer protections out there, but I think the main demand right now would be some sort of way of verifying authenticity, and that's harder and easier said than done. It's very hard to do that because honestly, booster boxes can vary from print run to print run, and so it can be incredibly obnoxious to be faced with that challenge but not have a clear path forward. The one conversation that I do continue to see, and it is happening on a very thematic level, meaning lots of people are having it across a lot of different posts and videos and memes, is that people want to seal booster boxes up in a box. So basically how it would work is you open the booster box on camera, you verify the contents of the pack, you seal the box up again with some security tape, and you can do that directly on the plastic wrapping of the box, or you could put it in an acrylic case and then seal it up. And the idea would be after you apply the security tape, it's basically locked in there forever. If the box is ever opened, you know you shouldn't trust the box. And if the box remains sealed with the security tape in place, you're all set. So it sounds like that may be the path forward. I myself am actually going to give a shot at that and put it over on Instagram. So later on, I will probably update the description of this video with a link to that post. You should definitely go check it out. But in the future, it seems pretty clear that we're going to want to start to think about the way that our sealed booster boxes, especially WotC era stuff, is kept, because it may be better to buck that traditional aspect of having a sealed collection and instead go ahead and open these boxes and simply just reseal them again. But know that when we do open them up and verify the contents, that we have what we have. So if I open up my Deoxys box, I know there's 36 Deoxys packs in there, and it's not just some, styrofoam and a couple Pokemon cards to make sure the weight is about right. And so I think that is a potential future in this hobby, is one where that trend picks up. Another potential trend is one where PSA, BGS, or some other third party offers some sort of seal and security type situation, or some type of authenticity guarantee type of situation. So one of the two may also come into play. But with that said, friends, thanks again for checking out today's PokeChat. I do always appreciate your viewership. Let me know down below what you think of this news. Obviously, there's tons of huge implications for the Pokemon card community and the hobby, and unfortunately there's now a big investor base in all of this as well, meaning it's probably going to send shockwaves and you're probably going to get inundated with different types of information about this. So let me know down below what you thought about today's video. Let me know what you thought about today's news. As always, one of the best ways that you can help this channel is by clicking that big old subscribe button. So if you haven't already, consider joining the Gengar Gang. Just yesterday, we had our 500 subscriber special, so definitely go check that video out. I'll leave it for you in the card up above, as well as in the end description card title thing of this video. And with that said, thanks again for watching, friends, and I'll talk to you real soon. Peace.